What is going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about what Caleb has to say on X. Definitely go check out his page. He is a very big influencer in the space. And what he's saying here is Bitcoin plus option selling equals retirement hack. So this is kind of what I mentioned earlier when I was looking at the ticker symbol IBIT. But pretty much what he's saying is it's a hypothesis on my end, on his end. But if you believe it like I do, that Bitcoin is going to be worth more in 5 to 10 years down the road, then you need to do this as soon as possible. So he said, step one, acquire 50 to 100,000 of a Bitcoin proxy directly through IBIT is probably the most straightforward way. If you want some additional volatility, then MSTR makes a good candidate as well. He says, yeah, I understand that not everyone just has 100K lying around. Just acquire what you can and keep stacking. He said, number two, sit on the shares. Like he mentioned earlier, he said, I have a firm confidence that Bitcoin will hold a price of 4 to X higher over the coming 5 to 10 years. It can end up being more, but this is his conservative estimate. And he said, you need to hold these shares through the ups and downs, make it through the appreciation process. Number three, he said, while you're waiting on the shares to appreciate, you need to be learning the ins and outs of option selling. Use 100 shares of IBIT as a testing point. And like I mentioned, IBIT is close to 5,500. That's what it would take at the current price for IBIT to purchase 100 shares. He said, practice generating cash flow off these shares while allowing it to get called away through rolling of contracts. He said this time of practice will be invaluable for you when your original lot of shares appreciate to near a 7-figure value. And he said, I'm talking years of practice. Yeah, absolutely. Option selling is a skill set, and it takes a lot of practice to be able to kind of fine tune your strategy with it for sure. He said, step 4, begin selling options on your main stack. Let's assume you have a value of $1 million, just to make it simple math with the round number. Yeah, most people don't have that, but we're going to continue. $1 million of option selling using conservative strike price that gives you roughly 0.5% payout on a weekly basis, gives you an 85% chance of success based on the delta of the contract. So this is he's assuming that you can make 0.5% per week. And he said, this means statistically there's only a 15% chance in which your shares are in danger of being sold. So you're selling a 15 delta. And then he said, when you do, potentially lose on your strike selection, he said, this is where you roll out and up. He said, this would generate, $5,000 per week, very conservatively. I'm assuming this is at $1 million portfolio size of 0.5% per week. And then he said, but it also has the potential to generate more if you have the appetite for additional risk. Yeah, so if you select closer strikes, then the more risk, the more reward potentially. He says, in step 5, this is obviously broken down very simplistic to show the example. Execution is much more complicated than the hypothesis. Absolutely, as with everything. And then he said, however, this could produce 5 figures in cash flow per month in a reasonable short time frame if you're willing to dedicate the effort and attention. And I agree 100%. Let's go down and look to see if anyone commented. Does not. No comments yet, but definitely go check out his page. He has a lot of valuable information on option selling. He has a community you can take a look at as well. And but yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. We kind of just wanted to touch on this hypothesis that he's been talking about. Bitcoins plus option selling equals your retirement hack.